harika oyuncusuyla anlamıştım.
In less than 10 months of 2025, the Russian army has suffered record losses in military vehicles. According to the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, as of October 24, 2025, the total number of enemy vehicles destroyed or damaged, including fuel tankers, has reached 65,356. Of these, 32,681 were struck by the Defense Forces this year alone. This is more than the combined total of 2022, 2023, and 2024. For comparison, during 2022, from February 24, 2022 to January 1st, 2023, Ukrainian warriors destroyed or damaged 4,720 units of enemy automotive equipment, including vehicles and fuel tankers. In 2023, they destroyed another 6,610 units, and in 2024, the Russian army lost 21,345 vehicles and fuel tankers. Thus, by the beginning of 2025, the enemy's total losses in this category of material reached 32,675 units. And in less than 10 months of this year, that figure has more than doubled. The sharp acceleration in Russian vehicle losses reveals a deeper systemic breakdown in the Kremlin's operational approach. Rather than adapting to Ukraine's evolving battlefield capabilities, Moscow has continued to rely on massed mechanized assaults that disregard terrain, reconnaissance, and logistical vulnerability. Ukrainian forces have expanded their precision strike capabilities, using drones, anti-armor weapons, and real-time intelligence to target not only assault columns, but also critical support vehicles that sustain offensive operations. Russian commanders persist in pushing lightly protected transport and fuel trucks into contested zones, creating predictable targets and compounding losses across entire formations. This pattern demonstrates a profound failure to integrate logistics and maneuver under modern warfare conditions. Russian planning has repeatedly underestimated Ukraine's surveillance networks, allowing Kyiv's forces to identify and destroy convoys before they reach forward positions. Attempts to overwhelm defenses through sheer quantity have instead created bottlenecks of vehicles susceptible to drone ambushes and artillery interdiction. The Russian army has also shown limited capacity for effective battlefield repairs and vehicle recovery, leading to a cascading degradation of mobility, firepower, and supply resilience. Strategically, these losses prove that Russia's campaign remains rooted in outdated doctrines that prioritize attrition over tactical innovation. Every destroyed truck narrows Russia's ability to supply ammunition, fuel, and reinforcements, slowly eroding offensive potential regardless of manpower levels. The exponential rate of equipment destruction in 2025 underscores that the Kremlin's insistence on brute force assaults has yielded only a growing graveyard of lost materiel and exposed the broader collapse of logistical coherence. Without a fundamental transformation in planning and tactics, Russia will continue to exchange vehicles for minimal territorial gains, illustrating a military strategy that has already failed on every operational metric in Ukraine. The Ukrainian 110th Brigade Drone Battalion hunted down a vehicle with Russian soldiers, burning two inside with a direct FPV strike. Others fled to a tractor but were eliminated there. One tried swatting the drone away and lost his arm and life. The 110th Mechanized Brigade's Unmanned Systems Battalion has become a force multiplier on the Donetsk front, employing FP5 and loitering strike drones to conduct precision interdiction of enemy columns, reconnaissance, and rapid close support strikes. These small networked aerial platforms enable the battalion to locate, designate, and destroy lightly protected vehicles and emplace standoff fires ahead of conventional maneuver units, degrading Russian mobility and logistics while conserving Ukrainian artillery stocks. The unit's effectiveness stems from integrated data-driven targeting, rapid mission turnaround, and adaptive tactics that mitigate electronic warfare and weather constraints, making it a decisive element in local defensive and counterattack operations. In just 48 hours, Czech volunteers from Gift for Putin raised over $600,000 to buy a Flamingo missile for Ukraine's armed forces. Organizers expected it to take a week. This record-breaking result came in 2 days. Pure evil and pure terrorism. There is no other way to describe this deliberate, indiscriminate shelling of civilian areas in broad daylight. Russia targets civilian areas to spread fear, disrupt daily life, and undermine public morale, aiming to pressure Ukraine politically and psychologically. By striking homes, schools, and infrastructure, Moscow seeks to create chaos, overburden emergency services, and weaken support for Ukrainian defense efforts, while demonstrating its willingness to disregard international law and humanitarian norms. Putin wants a humanitarian catastrophe in Ukraine this winter, Zelensky said during a meeting with UK PM Keir Starmer at Downing Street. The president agreed with Starmer's observation that the Russian dictator shows no intention of ending the war, evidenced by attacks paralyzing Ukraine's energy infrastructure. "We are not alone in this situation," Zelensky stated. Back on the battlefields. A Russian tank took cover inside a factory building, but concrete offered no protection. An FPV pilot from the Signum Battalion of the 53rd Mechanized Brigade expertly guided a drone through a narrow gap between beams and debris, successfully striking the target. The Signum Battalion of Ukraine's 53rd Mechanized Brigade specializes in electronic warfare and reconnaissance, using advanced sensors and UAVs to detect enemy positions, disrupt communications, and guide precision strikes. Its operations enhance situational awareness and force multiplication, allowing Ukrainian units to preempt Russian movements and neutralize threats before they can engage frontline forces. The Dnipro 1 Fire Support Regiment of the Lyut Brigade struck Russian positions near Toretsk in Donetsk region using a 152mm Mista-B howitzer, according to footage dated September. Ukrainian forces are making measurable progress near the town of Toretsk, despite Russian efforts to launch a breakthrough in that sector. Moscow's offensive push sought to penetrate defensive lines and seize key terrain to threaten the broader contact line. But Ukrainian defenders have held firm and begun advancing to reclaim ground. This momentum reflects Kyiv's ability to absorb attacks and transition rapidly into counter-assault operations, undermining Russian operational objectives and stabilizing the front in a strategically sensitive area.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.